Hi friends, in this video we're going to talk about dependency injection, request pipeline, middleware and HTTP context in ASP.NET Core web applications. When you create a simple .NET web application, you will see a boilerplate code something like this. We'll try to understand the concepts that are used to create this simple .NET web application. So before understanding the source code, let's try to understand the concepts that are used to write this source code. The first important concept is HTTP context. When the server gets a request from a client, a HTTP context object is created for that request. And this object will contain all the request and response information in it. And in .NET, this HTTP context object would be passed through a series of functions called middleware. So think about it like this. When a server gets a request, it creates a HTTP context object. The next concept is dependency injection container. It's basically a collection of utility classes known as services. In your web application, you might require services like database service, logging service, these reusable components which you want to use all over the place. So you can register a service in the dependency injection container using statement something like this. You can declare an interface and you can register an implementation of it. So this way you can implement inversion of control using the dependency injection services. Once you register a service class in the dependency injection container, the middleware can ask for the service from the dependency injection container and it will issue a service instance. So basically the container will create a service object from the service class and issue it to the middleware. Whether the service object would be reused or not depends upon the service lifetime, and we'll talk about it in a different video. So till now we covered that the request and response data would be present in HTTP context object, and we have all our utility classes in a dependency injection container. Now we did not talk about how the request would be processed. So the request would be processed using a request pipeline, and each component in the request pipeline is basically a middleware. So think of middleware as a function which will take the HTTP context, do some processing on it, store the results in the HTTP context and send it to the next middleware. And the next middleware also does the same thing. So when the server receives a request, a HTTP context is created and that context is passed through each middleware, and each middleware will use the context, do some processing. If required, they will use some services and then they will modify the HTTP context and send it to the next middleware. And after all the middlewares have completed the processing, again the HTTP context would be sent through each middleware one after the other in the reverse order. And at last, the server will see the response data from the HTTP context and return that response data to the client. So that's how the HTTP context, the dependency injection container, and the request pipeline, which contains middleware, come together to create an ASP.NET web application. To explain middleware, let's take an example of an authentication middleware. When a request arrives at the server, it will be sent from one middleware to another, and you have to configure the order of the middleware because the sequence of the middleware matters. Let's say you have this authorization middleware at the starting. If your user is not authenticated, it will not be logged, it will be just declined and you don't have any logs. So logging should be there before authorization middleware. So in that sense, the sequence of middleware is important. So when the HTTP context reaches the authorization middleware, it will parse the user details if a cookie is present, and if it finds a valid user, it will attach the user object to the HTTP context object, and it will pass this HTTP context to the next middleware. And the next middleware can just see the HTTP context.user, and if it's present, it knows that the user is authenticated. And if the authorization service wants to see the database or wants to use some service, it will ask the dependency injection container to give an instance of the required service. So this is an example of how an authorization middleware can process a request. So these are the concepts which are absolutely important to understand a .NET web application. Now that we have understood the concepts, let's try to see the code. When you say web application.create builder, you are creating an application builder, and the builder has a dependency injection container in the services member. So that's why when you say builder.services.add razor pages, you are adding a razor pages service. When you say builder.services.add singleton iMessage writer, you are adding a iMessage writer service to the dependency injection container. And here builder.services is the dependency injection container. And when you say app equal to builder.build, you are creating the .NET web application which will process the requests. And here you will configure the HTTP request pipeline. That means you will add the middleware one after the other, and this is the sequence. First you will add the exception handler middleware, then HSTS middleware, then HTTP redirection middleware, the routing middleware, the authorization middleware, the static assets middleware, and the razor pages middleware. And at the end you say app.run. This actually ends the middleware. So when you say app.run, that means the request pipeline ends here. So that's it. We have used the concepts of dependency injection container and the request pipeline middleware concept. So I hope this code makes more sense now. In the future videos, we'll try to create a dependency injection service and also a custom middleware. But for this video, we try to explain what is the HTTP context, what is a request pipeline, what is a middleware, what is a dependency injection container, because all of this come together to create a .NET web application. The whole content of this video is present in this blog post, so please be sure to check out the link of this blog post in the description of this video. I have given clear explanation, code examples, and references to the official documentation. Please ask questions or post your valuable feedback in the comment section. Hope you like this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.